Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. Our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, anybody who have an opportunity to listen to us on radio or on the internet and media, welcome to our program On Target. And we must remind you that tomorrow is Sports Day. This patrician here decided St. Patrick's Sport. No. So tomorrow is Sports Day. We will not have the program. The radio, that radio station, I always say, is the most successful radio station in Grenada outside St. George's. And the fact that an individual had the idea and decided I could go in the north of the island and open a radio station, the fact that they took that initiative alone was a success story. And after decades, the radio station is still functioning. So where St. Patrick's going to have Sports Day? No, it kept it on target. Patrician, right. But we have the opportunity today to hold discussion, to speak, and to be as truthful as possible. I promised myself on radio to speak the truth and not to back down from any question. If I don't have the information, I'm going to tell you straight out. But I answer in any question you ask me. I'm not neutral. I don't openly flaunt any political parties, but I'm not neutral. And me as a politician. CARICOM politician. I believe in CARICOM. I find the leaders of CARICOM too tentative, too afraid, too scared. They're not taking initiative. But I support CARICOM. Today, while I await your call, and remember you're on Real FM 91.9, 91.5. Yes, we on the television too, but we know the radio individuals are very, very important to us. We on We Noise FM 94.9 in New York. We encourage you all the time to like our program. Give us a blind. Touch the like button. Subscribe to the program. And share the program. Even if you don't like us so much, share the program because we speak the truth. You could challenge us if we say something that is not the truth. We're not speaking from our script. So when people speaking, sometimes they excite things a little bit, or sometimes they have dates or something incorrect. I try to stay away from specific dates. Let's deal with the truth. We must encourage people to live in the house of truth. If you have an individual, a character in your community that thief in, everybody running him down. Thief blogger, he thief coconut, he thief fig, as how Tilaita daughter treat her because she thief blogger. She go in jail for blogger. In those days, people go in jail for dry wood. They go in the estate and take dry wood and they hold them, they jail them. They go in prison for grass. The estate give you permission to have a cow on the estate. But they tell you where you could cut grass. In drain, by the road, on the edge of precipice. If you cut grass within the cultivation, they hold you jail. Wild yam, you go in jail for that. It wasn't easy. And we run on these people and we remember for decades that they went in jail. People coined the term, the boy lying as when horse trotting. Then we have some intellectuals, academia, success story. They lying, nobody ain't challenging them. We have to deal with the truth. We have to try to live in the house of the truth. Even if we can't make the bedroom, we must stay in the veranda of the yard. We must live around the truth. And I don't take it easily when our success story in tongue, our intellectuals, academia, our intelligentsia is blatantly lying. I see them with contempt. I have more respect for the character in the village that thieving, win and lying than for a medical doctor that lying, for a lawyer that blatantly lie. These people had an opportunity that the ordinary man don't have. Sometimes the big difference between you and a man in jail is our opportunity. You believe you're bright. Bright what? You go to school, you never was hungry, you had the family support, maybe your mother, maybe your father. That's what made the difference. Another student in school saw the sad stories from his mother, saw his mother crying, saw what the mother had to do to get money to mine him. She have 9 children, 11 man. Some children are 2 fathers. Some children grow up all their life, they don't know who the father is. I met a woman the last time, she told me they give her 4 fathers. I said, take all of them. And if you get money from all of them, take all of them. Call all of them daddy. She watching me. She asking if I'm crazy. Would you have preferred your mother bought you? Better you have 4 fathers. Sometimes 3 of them like you. Sometimes you have to help one. Rather than you get aborted. Some people take the decision to kill their children. Abortion. Not because they didn't want the child. They didn't have an opportunity. When governments spend money and educate our people, these people have a responsibility, an obligation, and a duty to help solve the country, to help come back and address the challenges that face us. If your parents fuck out their money and educate you, it's all well and good. Your parents do what they do, they have money, some of the businessmen, big companies, Dr. Japal, his parents sent him and studied, not government. Dr. Gibbs, the parents sent him and studied. I understand if these people didn't come back with it and solve. Dr. Japal, Dr. Gibbs, Dr. Klein, many others too, but that's the name that come to my mouth now. They solved this country patriotically. Dr. Japal he didn't want to see Gary, but all them Garyite like Dr. Japal. He never treat them bad. We have some doctors now, it's pure parasite. They didn't spend 1 cent to study. They got scholarship, they go in Cuba. The majority of them in Cuba, but others went to Canada, America, other parts of the world. Russia. And they study. And when they come back in Grenada, they are parasites. There doesn't seem to take the hypocrite out. It seems that it's only about money. That could never be right. Government sends some of them and do postgraduate studies. So when they come back with a doctorate, they go back and specialize in particular area. Whether it's gynecology, pathology, whatever ology. As soon as they qualify, they go to big universities in the United States of America and England. Grenada could never compete with developed countries. Even though you're paying a doctor $100,000 a month here, England could pay them more. America could pay them more. Let America educate them. I believe when we educate somebody more than a secondary school, we must put them on a bond for 20 years. If you have to go away, Parliament must make that decision. And they could only provide it at 5 years interval. We train our engineers, they're not staying. I remember in the early days in Gary, they sent a man in Canada to learn how to cut meat. About 20 years after when I met that man, he said he realized this training he get there, Grenada could never use it for the rest of their lives. So he didn't come back. You cannot, as a small country, investing all this money in tertiary education, and then they're treating us with scorn and contempt. When they come back to Grenada, if they come back, they believe they're in a different class. You do the same way still, boy. They believe they're part of the privilegencia. They're not genuine. They're not helping to develop the country. And this thing getting worse. And particularly now that this present government is promoting classism, it's going to get worse. Even our teachers today, go back yesterday, the teachers was involved in cultural club. Almost all the cultural clubs in the country had teachers in it. They were the one writing the plays for children to act. Gloria Payne Banfield was in dance class, dance group, modern creative, Nativity Talala, Ladig. The group in St. David's was full of teachers. I remember 2 sisters was in that group. Both of them was teachers. Ladig, River Sally, all the cultural groups had teachers in it. Teachers were the main one organizing. The credit unions was teachers. Meltina. Now all these people feel they're too intelligent. They're too bright. They have plenty certificate. So they don't want to deal with weak commoners. How are you going to develop your country? How are you going to develop your country? We have a situation today where NIS changed the system and they're insisting that if you have a sick leave from NIS, if you have to get money from the doctor, if you have to go to the doctor, you get a sick leave, and you have to get your money from the employer, you have to have a phone. NIS pushing you money on phone. There are individuals that don't even know about it. There's a lot of people in the country that are not that smart as the smartphone. Particularly some of them men. Dumb as what on phone like me. There is no system in place to help these people. And we believe we're in a different social strata than these people. Then how are your countries going to develop? Where are our brightest sons and daughters? You all hiding. You all abscond. Go in the business sector and see how much master's degree and PhD and doctorate we have. Go and look around in agriculture and see how much qualified people we have in agriculture producing. They may be advising. Go in the fishing industry and see how much qualified people who are trained and educated in the fishing industry. Go in the cottage industry. Government train how much scientists, lab technicians. They go away and study general science, integrated science, computer science, all kind of science. Are they involved in the cottage industry? You want to tell me that the ministry didn't train people in marketing? Tell me what the Ministry of Agriculture marketing. In these modern days, all dog and cat sending things on computer and social media, you have to pay for it. Even me, I put up a sign in a rum shop. It's good for your brain, it's good for your health, eat more eggs. The farmer pass. You watch it, I say, you are right that way for it. Because you're seeing trouble to sell eggs. Grenadians is not consuming enough eggs. Where are our intelligence here? It saddens my heart that you go into communities, and since Lionel Connell, these communities was described as low socioeconomic communities. Think bad. And government trained scores of people from the community, but they won't help the community. Even those that are working in the bank showing off on the community. And you just as a conductor, people money you check it. Then why is it like that? How are we going to develop our country if the academia, the intelligentsia, the best mind, our success stories are not developed in the community? There are some villages in yesteryear was strong agricultural villages. Broadgrove, Paraclete, Mount Rule. Well, in fact, they say that's where the best size is in Grenada. And people had 30, 50, 60 plus 100 acres of land. You had people had 10, 15 vehicles. And now the land have bamboo, bocano, and baliji. Some of the children from these families, they're in New York, doing security, seeing after the elderly, walking dog, and playing. So how you going to develop the country? How you going to develop the country? Where are our island scholars? Scores of island scholars. I don't know if anyone of them come back. How are you going to develop a country? And then we produce a group of vultures now in political parties who believe they're smart, they're bright, and they're intelligent, who practically had no success story prior to politics. A lawyer is a 3-4 course. And sometimes you're lucky, you fall on a bank. The first job you do for a company, you work out well, your name spread, you make money. What else they invest in? Most of them have land. They work in land? No. You have so much instances. When last you hear a lawyer win a murder case? Is it that the police real good? Well, I know the police good. I know Grenada police real good. They hardly could win case. People paying them thousands of dollars. They're trying to convince the people you have a good case. The last minute of the case, they're telling the people to plead guilty. How that could be right? You had issues at the referendum. The lawyers shut them out in the country. The trade union shut them out. The journalists shut them out. You had issues with Haiti. The Prime Minister going to the United Nations and he deceived the Haitians. He lied to them and he deceived the children of Gustav. Did you hear any trade union leader speak? Did you hear any journalist grumble? Did you hear any lawyer in Grenada speak about that? No. Haiti is like a bouquet of flowers that have a foul odor. Odor. Scent. I prefer that word. I'm getting tired of this odor. Foul scent. Bad scent. That we in the Caribbean don't want to look at. Yes, scholar. Write it. Yes, my brother.
Cocoa associations still continue buying cocoa in secret this year because they can't afford to do that in this modern time now because cocoa is just a 6 months crop. And after the next 6 months, you have to go back and put back input back in the land. Each time they tell people, look, cocoa, they're buying cocoa fortnightly, are they buying there, are they buying? So people go quick, all of this wastage are going, when no longer taking more wastage you get. So they also want to eat that, they have to modern for that time now, man. Let the people come for it, let people say they knew this. You could spend our money and put it in ads and radio and say something, man. They can continue for it, so we can't continue going on the range every time, so let people know when they're buying. That my problem I have. So be here because my area people here last week they maybe 1 or 2 people are more here. I guess maybe 90% of people don't go. They don't know. They want people to see if people buying, they don't know. So it's time for them to change their attitude, man, and do something better than that, man. That is association, man. Not to say one man do anything. Take him up there.
Yeah, this morning, color you correct. This morning when I passed and I realized they buying cocoa in carry. I passed there, but I forget to watch on the board because my eyesight was so good. So I can stop. I had to come out and watch. And they just write it in chalk on the book. This morning, I realized they're buying cocoa. And today is the last day. And they're buying half day in Carrier and half day in Pointsville. So if you have something... I think the Cocoa Association must have too much cocoa. About 3 years now, are fighting to go on the chat. I understand they have a chat room. And they have a certain specific amount of farmers they in farming. And Cultureman stop telling me. He say attacking Dickney and NDC too much. So he's not telling me about it again. The other woman in a rum shop I used to go and drink rum. She used to tell me when they buying cocoa. But she said no, she ain't give me no information now. So when I go in the rum shop now, I don't buy him. I'm waiting for a drink. Because I used to buy. They say when the man come here, spend money as if he's stupid. But she not telling me, so when I go inside now, I'm just waiting for a free rum. I'm mapping. I'm not buying rum in the shop again. But I'm going. So that is the challenge we have in Grenada. Look at the quality of individuals and Cocoa Association and Nutmeg Association. These are the worst group of negotiators in the country. I've always said to them, mind your business. You don't have to prop up NDC. Cocoa Association directors and board and Nutmeg Association, they're always doing as they are agents for a political party. You don't have to prop up the political party. Seek the interests of the farmers. Many years ago, I encouraged them. Cocoa is a forest crop. It stood up well against the hurricane. And there is a lot of money available for small islands to preserve their forests. Brazil, Guyana, and because you're a small island, you have a good case on the issue of the environment. So I say to them, why you don't go and put up a case? Declare cocoa as a forest crop. Get about 5 million grant aid assistance for it and help cultivate back the farmers' land that have Boakano, bamboo, and balije. You could make a legal agreement with them that they must keep that crop for X amount of years, 20 years. But if they decide to change or to sell, they have to pay you back. You make a legal agreement with them. But if they decide to keep the land under the program, then they don't have to pay you a cent, but you make a legal agreement with them. But this group of people, they're bad-minded. I come to the conclusion that they're bad-minded. And you could ask what new initiative that they have to develop the industry. They're buying cocoa in secret. They're writing it with a chalk on the board. So that is the challenge we have. We have to live in the house of truth. We have to live in the house of truth. Remember the Treaty of Paris ceded Grenada to Britain in 1763. The Treaty of Paris. And you know this Treaty of Versailles again re-emphasized that in 1795. And you were aware in 1974 we had independence. Gary said brimstone and fire. 1 month straight demonstration every day. Maurice Bishop and his group demonstrating no independence because Gary go Cuba. They say Gary they in Chile. That time Gary sent people in Chile to train. And even in South Korea to learn about agriculture and fishing. Bishop and them criticized that. The privilegencia joined them. All university graduates joined them. The Caribbean islands was supporting them against Bishop. And even some old Garyite like Bishop. Because he tall and he fair and he could speak. So them Garyite time like him too. They just like Uncle Gary a little more. So in 1979, we overthrow the legitimate government of Eric Gary. They had 9 seats in parliament and the alliance had 6. The election was in 1976. In 4.5 years, Maurice Bishop supervised over the worst crimes in Grenada after slavery and colonialism. I always criticize Mr. Blaze. I believe Mr. Blaze could have intervened more. If Bishop did jail him, then kayaks would get vexed with Bishop. And Bishop did not want the kayaks to get vexed with him. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good evening.
Yes, man.
So you see, the man call himself a real terrorist.
Speak a little louder for us.
I said,
Yeah.
you did confirm terrorism now in the rally garden. You're telling me supporters find out who them enemies, we can't get nothing.
You go down a bit.
Hold on, let I'll call you.
Call me back, yeah, because I want to hear you. Yes, I agree with you. Deacon well qualified to be called poor people terrorists. I think what he did was a political crime. Yes, scholar.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre. So you see the man declare himself as a real people terrorist. The man is a people terrorist in joking. Yeah, we have to get rid of the terrorists because the world getting rid of terrorists. And people terrorists. We have to get rid of you. We are living. I ain't calling the name.
No.
But when I go because I run around for a lady, you know. And she's an NDC, eh? She's an NDC. And I run in that shop, she's going out with the holiday I run in there. When I go down there, them 12 men attack me. But you know, Sunday, when they come out in the rally, everybody stay quiet. So I say, hey, oh, nobody tell about the crowd and quiet and come and see the crowd and better watching the crowd. But today now, they get vexed. Because they say, they can want number 10 to run for him. And they will never vote for number 10. Because number 10 make them catch the ass on the NMP. They say they done. They do voting. Because they make the woman they like, Gloria, the president of the party, ain't it?
Chairman.
Are you there with me?
The chairman of the party.
Oh, yeah, and then the chairman of the party. So the people married and they get vexed. They say they don't vote in for number 10. Because number 10 they get into trouble on the NMP. I will find anything I say, the people come and tell me nothing. They say, come and see and see crowd and nothing. All this morning, then talking to me at all. So, Mr. Pierre, listening to you.
Yes.
Before I go, I listened to a young lady yesterday on Andrew program. You have to have a whole lot of young lady close to you.
Yeah.
Because you are on the same concept.
Education.
With education concern.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, we want more people raise their voice on education. The productivity level in education is unacceptable. And they believe they're so bright, we can't challenge them. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good day, sir.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
I just arrived, but I want to join you quickly.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Mr. Pierre, this morning I tried to advocate that the NNP supporters should be more aggressive on the grounds because we have enough food. I have a lot of things to talk about, and our political leader alone cannot do the work. We need to be advocating more. We need to let people know the mistakes this present administration. I never heard such a dangerous statement, and right now the activist is fighting to see how they could defend it, which that statement is very hard to defend. So what they're doing, they getting vexed. One was speaking to me, and when I asked him to explain that statement what the Prime Minister make, the Prime Minister is showing division. He gets vexed and he starts to attack me personally. He gets arrogant and he starts to curse me personally. And that is some of the attitude of the supporters, cursing you when they can answer questions. And that is good when they get answer. I have nothing to talk about. Also, Mr. Pierre, one of them came to me this morning and they asked me, if you stop going on the radio, if we give you a help with your damage what you got in burial, would you stop going on the radio program? I say, why? I am a Grenadian. They tell me I could get a help, but I must stop go on the radio and criticize the government. I'm not criticizing, I'm speaking about the wrongdoing. I say Target is one of the best programs. Target, Mr. Pierre is not criticizing the government. He is speaking about the wrongdoing. And I will continue to speak about wrongness. They say, well, no, they know your voice. So that means to say, I would not get help because I have to stop. So that is the policy of the National Democratic Congress. And that is easy to sell. I want to thank you. Let somebody else speak. Thank you.
Yes, scholar. You know, when we speak in Oli, we talk about restorative justice. We always on that, and I objected to that because I saw in 1983. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Yeah, I'm calling in relation to a letter which was sent to me. I think it was circulated widely, written by the Prime Minister, St. Vincent. I usually call him the Prime Minister for the OECS. On the subject, writing to the Prime Minister of St. Kitts, referring to a $25 million construction of a governor's office, and referring to Mr. Timothy Antwine, Dr. Timothy Antwine. Have you seen that?
Yes, I saw a copy of the letter.
Yes, and I wish to comment on it.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, and I looked at I read the letter, the language of the letter, and his comment was related to the excessive costs of a $22 million governor's house. And to me, he was outrageous, that type of spending. And he referred to Mr. Antoine's upbringing, his Christian principles. But in this case, he cannot accept how come $22 million could be allocated to spend on a governor's house for Dr. Timothy Antwine. Now, I find $22 million is a lot.
You're finding too much.
Of the OECS coming out of COVID and the uncertainty on the global economic front. Now, Timothy is one of those guys which I have a lot of respect for. I'll be careful what I'm saying about him, and I always believe he could be a prime minister of Grenada in the future. But this sort of publicity about about $22 million for the statistics line. It's really, I didn't like what I saw. I am sure that he didn't single-handedly approve $22 million. There has to be some committee of board that approved that. But Dr. Gonzalez was in rage and questioning his integrity, right? To that level of expenditure. Now, I hear your comment on this.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I just saw the letter and I have an attitude not to want to interfere too much in breaking news when it happened. But when I see 22 million for the governor house, and I remember 22 million for independence celebration in Grenada, and 20-something thousand for rent for Deacon, and even wholeness in Jamaica, some of his spending, I am concerned. Leaders in the there's a possibility of a third war. Donald Trump decided to squash U.S. aid suspended for 90 days. America say America first, Canada say Canada first, second and third. You could see massive aid being removed from the Caribbean. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, good day.
Mr. Pierre, I go and do some medical test, blood test.
Is it you ready that?
They don't have the equipment for sugar test.
You ready that already?
Mr. Pierre, not a complete blood test.
You might have to buy your sugar test when you go next time.
You don't have it.
When you don't have next time, buy some sugar test when you go in. Can it make sense letting your sugar get high? Can the government have? The government spending money recklessly.
I have the sugar. Not to say, but I just go and do complete blood test.
The government is spending money recklessly.
You whatsoever.
We told you the government is hostile against people in low income group. They don't care.
Playing the beast with the long tail. These people are then showing Grenadians what they could do. Sunday God.
And Grenada here, they just tell you, use a real embassy.
Real embassy, what you talking about? They say
They say the reason why others getting help because we don't know who is the real embassy.
I listen this man, you know. I don't listen this man when I.
That is a political crime.
I listen it in the news. I say, let me hear what they say in the news. Mr. Pierre, trust me.
That is a political crime.
And Grenadians still telling themselves they want to put that man back.
Are you telling yourself that? When you say Grenadians, some Grenadians.
Some Grenadians, sorry. Some Grenadians. Mr. Pierre, we don't go in good at all in some. Some of us do. Because it's like, they're not listening. I don't find they're listening. They listen, the St. Lucian Prime Minister. They listen the Dominican Prime Minister. Yeah! It's like we dumb. We well dumb, you know. It's like what the people on them say, it's like they're not listening. Because if they're listening, they're not balling, yeah. What's going on with us, Mr. Pierre?
Truth. We have to live in the house of truth. If we can make it in a room, already veranda by the yard.
Mr. Pierre.
Thank you.
You must come and open with ears, watch what's going on, listen what's going on, and you're going to know right direction where to put when did they reach. But the people beat them out. Yeah, the Dominican man say he come and he'll keep each other to leave the place there for him to think. You know. The man from Dominic, from Grenada, and beating him out and the balling. Yeah, think now. Put on your thinking cap now. Mr. Pierre, have a blessing.
All right, thank you. We have to encourage Grenadians to live near the house of truth. Even if you can make it in the room, all in the yard good. We have to deal with the truth. And we have to be consistent. You can't be talking about corruption, 10 years you're talking about corruption, and now you don't want to ask that the directors of the GDB Bank should retire. The directors of the GDB Bank failed us. They flunked the 1973 regulation and laws, and they robbed the bank, and they provide millions of dollars for themselves and ministers. That is wrong. How come all these moralists and accountable people forget that it is alleged that the government received expensive gifts and they have not retired to the Integrity Commission? That could be an act of corruption. If you're a politician and somebody giving you expensive gift, you're not a woman in particular, what are you giving this gift for? Is more likely be bribery. That is wrong. We have to be prepared to live in the house of truth. We're not perfect. We're going to make mistakes, but we have to try to keep in the house of truth. Otherwise, our growth will be stunted. How does the trade union in Grenada? No, bearing in mind that we had 3 structural adjustment programs. The first one ended up in court, where many people were retrenched. They lost their job. Government cut social program to balance the book. The next structural adjustment program, we introduced a debt service levy. And we cut social programs. We were not able to put medication in the hospital. Infrastructure deteriorated. And then we had the 3rd structural adjustment program under Kit Mitchell. So this is a joke then. We legislate discipline. They say the problem is not the IMF, you know. The problem is we are bad spending money. You have a little business, the first little profit you make, you take it and drink from. What you go buy back goods with? Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
Do you think it's right for the acting governor general to be in a party convention? Let me hear your thoughts on that. Let me hear your thoughts on that.
Is acting. Acting is not a permanent job. So he acts when the government is not there. So I don't have any objection if in convention. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hello?
Yes, go right ahead. You're ready on the background.
Afternoon.
Yeah. You're ready on the background. Low down, otherwise you're going to listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah. Are we getting ready for general election?
Well, I don't believe we're going to have general election now. The government have 2 years again to go, and all these people making a lot of money. So why would they want to call election when they're making all this money? And the prime minister just indicate to people the reason why others getting assistance, because we don't know who the real NDC is. So I don't think we're going to have election now. But the government, the opposition must be prepared.
Right. So this is another thing. This, you and I disagree on, or you disagree with me on. I said that we are getting into a dictatorship slowly. I don't know if you remember when I said so. And you tell me, no, we're not getting into dictatorship. But since after that, I've been hearing other people saying the same thing. And I believe we are stepping into the dictatorship with what is going on now, in the sense that we're preparing for election. And you know, my thing is that the reason is that the crowd shows me that we could get a 2/3 majority. The 2/3 majority will guarantee what? a change in the constitution, sir. That's where we're going now. A change in the constitution so we can do whatever we want to. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Well,
because listen,
in a democratic country, one man, one vote. And if people want to vote for whatever they want, you have to respect the right. So if they want to vote to change constitution to bring new Leopold coming there, that is the right. That's why you have democracy and independence.
Well, this is where apparently we're heading.
Yeah.
You know, this I'm not hearing you clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yes.
Apparently this is where we're heading because the chap wants to change the constitution. One of the things that I saw though with the crowd, I saw much of them to be underaged. Some of those that were performing.
It doesn't matter. The NDC had a good crowd and they're supposed to be pleased with it. And when a political party have a session like that, they're glad for the turnout. And the turnout is a good for the psychic of the NDC. It's a good crowd.
Yes, of course, yes. So what I saw, you had a lot of children.
Well, that is very good. That means the future is marked. When you have children, it's good.
Underaged.
Sometimes.
If we look at that as a show that we have votes in them, we could be mistaken.
People have to stop, pay a lot of attention to crowding. All the polls in America say Donald Trump would win. And NNP had a massive crowd 2 weeks before election. And NNP lost the election. So we have to, it's more than that. And 2.5 years is an important threshold. But it's a long time in politics.
So we have to encourage them, do not lie to us.
That is why we're speaking about the truth today. You know? We want people leaving the house of the truth.
We have to put some windows on the house of truth that they can't.
Even though they go in the yard, they don't want the truth, they go change. Yeah. Yes, caller, thank you. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yeah.
Now, this gentleman speaking about constitution, when Dr. Mitchell wanted to change the constitution and every one of them vote against it, so let them take what they get in now. The eyes just start open.
Yes. But we have to remind you that tomorrow we will not be on the program. We have sports. That's St. Patrick's Sports in La Poterie. That's where it is. So you have St. Patrick's Sports, that's primary school. Primary school sports in La Poterie. And that is a good economic event for the people of La Poterie. They just had their Salaka. They just had their Salaka in La Poterie. And that activity is good for them because the people are very generous. They plan, they cook, they give food free. I don't think anybody left there hungry. Right? So until tomorrow, we will not have our program. The activity would be in La Poterie and the radio program will be covering it. I see a lot of passion in sports and I want to encourage parents. Some of the passion you put on sports day, if you put some in your children's sporting life, they will do much better. Encourage them to be active. And a lot of our intelligentsia, the people who used to be in groups before, they walk away from it. Maybe parents have to lobby. When they go to parent-teachers meeting, one of the activities is try to form groups in your community so you could help your kid. We constantly encourage on this program to speak the truth. Why? We observe over the years a lot of talk show and radio program was propagating lies and a lot of propaganda. And we encourage people to, it will take some time but we want to constantly encourage you to speak the truth. We want to also encourage the government ministers, Deacon Mitchell, to speak the truth. We have one caller? Yeah. So this Prime Minister has been almost a compulsive liar. And I take the strongest objection to that. Your Prime Minister have to be believable. He is the first among equal. He's a significant player in the policy direction of your country. So if he is telling lies with such great regularity, how you go believe him? He practically lying about anything. And yes, this is our last caller. Caller Punch.
Afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, ma'am.
Just asking a question. I don't know, maybe you might answer next week, please God. I just heard the news. Why is it that they just summoned Mrs. Emmeline Pierre and the two other Miss Clarice and Miss Peter Louis to a meeting? And when she reached in the meeting, she just handed the instrument of opposition leader without no ceremony. How is this? I heard it on the radio. Why is this just so? When you find out, you'll give me the answer next week, please.
As you say, this one need a whole discussion. But normally the Constitution don't recognize political party. So if Dr. Mitchell decided that he give up the leader of the opposition because he commanded the majority, sometimes the Governor General want to know physically whether or not Emmeline Pierre commanded the majority. So in that way, 3 members of the opposition, including Emmeline Pierre, would have had to go to the Governor General and say, yes, I have the support of Miss Modeste, I have the support of Miss Peters, and Dr. Mitchell is not objecting, and Peter David is not objecting. So yes, I command the support. So if the Governor General requested them to come and certain, these people would have gone there, believing they were going to ensure the Governor General, to satisfy the Governor General, to please the Governor General, that they command the majority. And when they reach there, they would be seeking a date or a time when they could come for the official thing, so they could dress up and bring some supporters in it. And if the Governor General say, assigning you no, they can refuse. They can walk away from it. It will not be good protocol. So maybe the Governor General was a little bit crude with these individuals. But remember, our political history is tumultuous. George Rizan says the island of conflict. Mr. Blaise says like milk on fire. And the Americans say it's a false calm. And now we have a government in power that I describe as the worst group ever of NDC. Why do I say that? The first act they did was to attack the elderly, the physically challenged, and disadvantaged children. Then they raised the salary, the income, by about 300%. We saw them tell lies to the Imanis, contract workers. They deceive even the children of Haiti. We must never forget that 100-house unit in Carrico. Elvin Nimrod would be turning in a grave if Hans Bring News give him. Because he fought hard for these houses to be given to people. The minister, then parliamentary representative for St. Andrews Northwest then, and one of the ministers of health and housing gave the keys to 80 persons. This government took back the keys from them. I mean, could you imagine? Could you imagine? They took back the keys from them. And even Carrico have a disaster. They refuse to give the houses to the people, and we hear they wanted to sell it to the diaspora. Deacon is a political criminal. That is the actions of a political criminal. Go back way in history. No other political leader in Grenada have done these criminal acts against the poor of the poor. And if you had any doubt, you heard Deacon. The only reason they're getting assistance is because we don't know who the real NDC is. My brothers and sisters, we're back with you again next week. And remember to hatch on to the radio station for the sports. And Friday you have back on the program. We want to thank you very much for being with us today. Always remember to like, share, give us a like, and subscribe to our program on target, as we want you to live in the house of truth. If you can't make the house, live in the yard. Thank you very much.
In the Caribbean there's an island, found and set aside by nature's plan. It's so beautiful to see, really? Spice Island of the West, lovely. And in the West Indies I say Grenada please. Overwhelmingly glad we are to be of our country. Foreigners have recommended it highly. Hand in hand for a better land of people who can understand us business brighter out of darkness. Speaking of the land